All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily, where you subscribe for a video on crypto every day. My name's Austin. I am one of two people that drop daily videos on this channel. The other, of course, is my brother Aaron. And in today's video, before we get to the latest news stories that are making headlines in crypto today, like always, let's start and take a look at where we stand in the crypto market. Today's going to be a good day. Right now, the total market cap sits at around $103 billion, so really no significant change compared to where we left it on Friday. Pretty stagnant weekend. Same goes for Bitcoin as well. Right now, one Bitcoin still costs around $3,270-ish. Something that I do want to note is coming off the weekend, we're finally seeing some altcoins break away from the down market, the down Bitcoin, most notably EOS, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Cardano. These are the coins in the top 11, which if you hold, you might be feeling pretty good. They're in the green today. And last but not least, before we get to these news stories, I also want to talk about Bitcoin dominance, because it's interesting. While the total market cap remains roughly the same, and while the Bitcoin price remains roughly the same, Bitcoin dominance is little by little starting to increase, which just tells me that while Bitcoin right now is not moving that much, the last few days, these altcoins are beginning to lose market share. So it just shows, be careful with some of those lower cap coins. They're going to lose that market share first. Team, last thing I want to do is, obviously we know that Bitcoin over the last 3 days, pretty stagnant, but let's zoom out a little bit on Bitcoin and check it out, Bitcoin over the last 4 weeks. And I think it's pretty obvious. It was around 4 weeks ago that we took that massive drop, and ever since then we've just been slowly taking steps down for Bitcoin. So, where's Bitcoin headed next? If you're looking at how this market's trending, then we're about to take another step down. We'll see. As this unfolds, we're going to keep you updated. That's why you subscribe to this channel. But let's get to the news. Before we get to the big story about Bakkt and VeChain, I do want to clue you in on Coinbase, because Coinbase Exec has given us more information on the exchange's recent decision to go crazy listing more coins. Check this out. Coinbase Exec unpacks the industry giant's about face on crypto listings. And it's an about face because Coinbase, which was known, only had like 4 or 5 assets, Ethereum, Bitcoin, a couple others in the top 5. While it only had a few, one of the most conservative exchanges out there, they just said that they're about to drop 30 more cryptos on their exchange. So total about face. And Coinbase's vice president, Dan Romero, has given us more information. And he was recently speaking to Linda Shin on an episode of the Unchained podcast, where he delved into the factors that predicted this unusual move for Coinbase to go listings crazy. So what were the reasons? Well, Romero stated that Coinbase is, in fact, one of the number one reasons is revising its approach based on customer feedback. And that's number one, they're going off customer feedback. And number two, current developments in the regulatory space. Interesting. So because of new developments with regulation, they say they're now able to list more coins. According to him, the recent shift in strategy is particularly driven by customers who have overwhelmingly requested the addition of new cryptocurrencies to the platform. And while I like that, I like how they're listing to customers. I don't know if you saw this last week, but the 4 coins that right now are just being added on Coinbase Pro are Civic, District 0x, Loom Network, and Decentraland. A lot of low cap coins and nobody really talks about it. So it makes me think, if they're going off customer feedback, who is out there requesting these coins? And the last thing I want to go, and guys, if you have a coin that I would assume a couple Coinbase people listen to this channel. If you have a suggestion for them, they're going off customer feedback, let them know in the comments. But the last question that I had that this article addressed is how are they handling SEC regulations and complying with the SEC now that they're adding all these new listings? Well, despite the SEC's position on registering securities, which creates a risk of listing a token that later turns out to be an unregistered security. So despite how this is a risk, because these coins have not been, they have not said yet whether a lot of these cryptos are unregistered securities, Romero expressed confidence in the company's legal and security procedures, working in tandem with in-house checks and balances to assure that this does not take place. So it says that they're on it, and they're keeping that in mind. So, I mean, Coinbase has traditionally been the most conservative platform in terms of who they pick to list. So, I don't know, it gives me a little more confidence that if a coin is listed on Coinbase, they've done their due diligence. You know, just a little bit of green flag for those coins. But still, who is choosing these coins? Anyway, guys, let's keep going. 3 more news articles to go, and then we're going to check out Twitter. But let's get to the big news, Bakkt. Bakkt reveals, let's just go right into it. Bakkt CEO Kelly Loeffler says Starbucks isn't the only retail company interested in partnering with the upcoming cryptocurrency exchange. Interesting, because Starbucks is already a huge deal. Another retail company, when I first saw this, I was thinking maybe Target, Walmart. I have no clue, but this could potentially be big. In a new interview, Loeffler says Bakkt is hearing from a number of big name companies who also want to partner and give their customers a way to make purchases by converting crypto into cash. He's saying a lot of big name companies, retail companies specifically, want to get on the Bakkt platform. This is a direct quote. Since that announcement, we've heard from others that want to do that, Loeffler told the Inside the Ice House podcast. And there's more news about VeChain down here, separate announcement, but this was the only information. When I read this, I was a little peeved because, I mean, right now they're just selling hype and no real information, but I did a little digging and I set out to find out who they're talking about exactly, and I couldn't find it. So, sort of a bummer, but as more information unfolds, we will keep you updated on this channel. But I really hope in 2019, with big players like Bakkt and stuff, I really hope we get a lot more stake and a little less sizzle, or both equally. It's just, you know, I'm tired of this hype. That's me. Let me know what you think. VeChain news. VeChain and another partnership. Maybe. Let's check this out. VeChain is working with, what was the headline again? VeChain announces blockchain service. That was it. VeChain is working with a leading cloud service provider in the United Arab Emirates. So what does this mean, and how does this affect you if you're invested in VeChain? Well, according to a joint press release, so it's not only VeChain that confirms this, but it's the other company, which is BIOS Middle East, BIOS Middle East. VeChain and BIOS Middle East have signed a memorandum of understanding, so not quite a partnership, but a MOU, to create a blockchain as a service framework and launch blockchain-enabled cloud services. So this is new for VeChain, and this could be big. Let's check out this direct quote. VeChain's wide range of blockchain solutions for enterprises, comprising of their Internet of Things, are ripe for major cloud service providers like BIOS Middle East to provide a variety of blockchain as a service offerings to existing clientele across energy, finance, retail, petrochem, and healthcare industries in the Middle East. So essentially what they're saying is that VeChain is getting into more cloud service providers. And this is, it seems what they're hinting at is this is the first of many. And they're going to span their way across energy, finance, retail, healthcare, etc., and offer more cloud service on the blockchain. And BIOS Middle East and VeChain recognize that in order for a large-scale blockchain revolution to happen, in order for VeChain to become big, companies will require help with designing, migrating, and managing their blockchain solutions to realize their tremendous benefits. And VeChain is starting with that, and they're going to help companies migrate and manage and design their blockchain for cloud service. let me know what you think of that. Again, this was, right now it's just a memorandum of understanding, so I really am going to keep on them and find out how this plays in the upcoming months to see if it's going through. But I read this press release. I'll leave a link in the description below. But as more companies get on the VeChain platform, it's just going to make the asset, VeChain, the coin, more valuable. Team, we have one more news article. If you found any value in this video so far, feel free to give it a like. It just honestly helps me grow as a channel. And let's get into it. The last news article comes right from President Trump himself. And we have a new U.S. Chief of Staff that, I guess in simplistic terms, says Bitcoin is good, not manipulatable by any government. Interesting. So this week, United States President Donald Trump has chosen the pro-Bitcoin Mick Mulvaney to serve as the acting White House Chief of Staff, and it's going to begin in less than a month in 2019. According to the Washington Post columnist Matt O'Brien, Mulvaney has been vocal about his support of Bitcoin and in a speech praised the decentralized nature of Bitcoin as a consensus currency. In 2016, also, Mulvaney reportedly said that had some criticism for the Federal Reserve, saying that it effectively devalued the dollar, and then emphasized that the exercise of such control is not possible with a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin that is not manipulatable by any government. What do you think? I mean, while this I don't think is going to result in any short-term, gain for Bitcoin, long-term wise, passively I think this is great for Bitcoin, as this article says, having a high-profile official and an influential member in the Trump administration that has a positive outlook on cryptocurrency, it's going to be good for the long term, especially when the CFTC and the SEC, when these guys are in the same room as those regulators. I mean, this could not be anything but good for Bitcoin. All right, team, that's the news today. Every single day we will drop a video letting you know the latest current events on crypto and altcoins. And if you haven't already, feel free to follow us on our Twitter. There's a link in the description below, but it's at altcoindailyio. Follow us on Twitter and stay talking to us between videos. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'm about to go get a cup of coffee. I got this new peppermint flavored one from Whole Foods. We'll see how it tastes. And we'll see you tomorrow.